Today we're going to be taking a look at the Air Blazer Lite. Let's get into it. So how does it rank against all other fans? So this is how it ranked when I first did the testing. For most recent ranking, I do recommend that you check out my best of video series because that'll have the most recent fans in the data testing for the cross comparison. If you're looking for a cheap triple pack, you get RGB or what you need. This isn't a terrible option. It's actually relatively good. For a cheap triple pack to get you RGB, this isn't a terrible option. Before we get into the data, I would like to thank Mint Mobile for being today's video partner. Thanks to Mint Mobile's wireless plans, it is possible to not only switch away from big, expensive mobile companies, but to also have a quality, affordable plan for me and my family. Mint Mobile's premium wireless plan starts at just $15 a month for a 3-month plan. I can get high-speed data and unlimited talk and text on the nation's largest 5G network. I can bring my own phone along and my current phone number, so you don't need to memorize a new phone number, something I have always found difficult. Switching to Mint is super easy thanks to digital eSIM cards, which most phones have. You can sign up and activate immediately right from your own phone from the comfort of your own home. If your phone doesn't have a digital eSIM card, Mint will ship you a new SIM card free of charge. And right now, new customers, Mint Mobile is offering 50% off their first 12 months of unlimited plan. It's the best deal of the year and only available a limited time. If you're interested in learning more about Mint Mobile and switching, visit my link or by clicking the link in the video description down below. All right, this is the RGB appearance for the fan. Right now it's in just color mixing mode. Let me go ahead and switch it over to one constant color, so we can count the number of LED RGBs, hopefully in there. All right, so I'm counting 6 LED RGBs. So that is a pretty much norm for less expensive RGB fans. And the reason for that is it's just cheaper to have fewer LED lights. So on camera, you're picking up like a different type of view. It's accentuating the color at the inside, and then you get this little ring. That is not something you see at all in person. In person, it looks fairly even in color. It is quite bright. Biggest problem is that the sticker in the middle is not centered, but overall it's fine as a basic LED RGB light. Nothing special. Let's take a quick look at the back. It should also be nothing special. Yep, you get a little bit of the frame in there. So overall, I call it sufficient as a light. And of course, this all depends on if you like the fan illuminated versus a frame illumination. So a little bit of spec information for this 120mm fan. 4-pole motor, hydraulic bearing. It uses a pretty high amperage. CFM, the millers of H2O. Let's go ahead and see how it performed in testing. So first series of tests is the case simulation test, taken at a few key measurement locations, the 6, the 9, the 11, and the 14.5 inch mark for various computer case sizes and scenarios. The 16 mark is representative of a short throw distance or a case that can hold only a mini ITX motherboard for a front-to-back airflow type design. I know those are rare, but it's kind of an idealized situation. The 9 inch mark holds 220mm class fans, and would be a case that can hold a standard ATX motherboard, not a lot of extra room around that. But again, that front-to-back airflow type design. The 11 inch mark would be standard mid-tower cases. Think a case that can hold 320mm class fans or a standard 360 AIO. And then we have the truly large towers at 14.5 inches, and that would hold 340mm class fans. To compare this fan against a baseline, I have my control fan. The control fan is base 3 parts A12X5 to 1 part A14. And, well, the Air Blazer does not do well in this test. Let's move on. At 100%, still does not do very well in this test. As a matter of fact, its RPM is so low that it just kind of makes sense that it doesn't perform particularly well in this test. So compared to other fans around it, it's a very poor performer overall. They're just significantly better case fans. At 100%, story is the same. It's underperforming compared to other fans around it. Let's move on. Airspeed versus that decibel rating. It's down there at the bottom. I did notice a resonant or harmonic frequency in it, right in the middle. But it's basically a flat line. It doesn't do well in this particular test. How about how does it do as a CPU cooler fan? At this time, I'd also like to thank my YouTube and Patreon members. You guys are awesome. And thanks to your support, I was able to recently purchase a radiator. Unfortunately, I purchased it after I'd done testing on this fan already, so it's not there. But from testing that I've done so far, the air speeds going through the radiator versus air speeds going through the CPU air cooler, the U12A, are very similar in terms of that resistance. I'm not calling the cooling potential the same for the CPU. I'm calling the resistance for that air to travel through it similar to the same. So if you're looking at ways to support this channel because you like the basic idea of what I'm doing and would like to see it grow and succeed, please think about joining as a YouTube and or Patreon member. It really does help. I want to buy a couple test systems for the channel. So all of that said, the Air Blazer here in its limited RPM range is more efficient than my control fan, but when you take it the noise performance, it underperforms pretty significantly versus the control fan. So it would be up to you to determine if you can put up that noise level. Compared to other fans, noise normalized, it's at the bottom of the graph. So it's doesn't produce a lot of airflow at my noise normalized value. At 100%, again, it's only spinning at 1,200 RPM, so it's very limited. And so it's at the bottom of the graph. As a cooler fan, it's really not recommended. Here's the noise versus airspeed. It's at the bottom once again, unfortunately. All right, then we have CFM testing. You have a fan, you have a tube, you blow air down the tube. It ignores the fact that fans don't blow air in a perfectly conical fashion, meaning in a cylinder going directly behind the fan. They tend to spread out off to the sides. So the Air Blazer versus the control fan is very similar. Its airflow is right in line with what I would expect. In terms of that noise efficiency, it is really bad. All right, how does it rank? Towards the bottom, noise normalized results. All right, how about at 100%? Well, again, limited RPM range. Towards the bottom, its position actually makes a lot of sense because above it you have 1,500 RPM fans and below it are mostly slower RPM fans. It's interestingly outperforms some 1,700 RPM fans. So that's kind of funny. Noise versus that air speed in its ranking. Towards the bottom of the graphs, again, it's not a surprise. We kind of saw it coming. All right, then we have value proposition, $18. If you can buy this fan as a triple pack, it might be worth it. But performance, or this value proposition is performance per dollar. It ignores the RGB, it ignores the quality of the bearing, it only takes a look at the cost and the fan. You need to determine for yourself whether or not you think it's worth it for you at this particular price. It got a 0. Basically produced no airflow at 11-inch mark. Through a cooler, it's at average, I guess. There are fans that do significantly better than it. CPU testing, it's well below average. So, I mean, my opinion is to kind of ignore this fan, unfortunately. But you can decide for yourself. This is the raw data. The raw data does belong to me and this channel. If you want to use it for your own personal use, you may go ahead and do so. If you're going to use it in sort of publication, journal, monetization, I do ask that you reference me and this channel because it is my data. If you like what this channel is doing, I do ask that you think about joining me as a YouTube member or as a Patreon, or just hitting that subscribe button does go a long way. If there are any particular fans you'd like me to test in the future, please leave them in the comment section down below. Other than that, thank you very much for watching my video. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you next time here on Computer Tech and More.